Hello, a day with Caleb. We are back this time with a kind of compilation pickups video. Uh, we have a few from Dollar Tree that Josh gave me, not the ones he bought for me. These are ones he had or either didn't like as well as he thought. Then some VHS that he sold my way, including a signature from a cool person that I actually got for Josh. We'll get into that. Then a series that I talked about in my Goodwill Insanity video where we went to all three Goodwills in Macon. Then a Warner Archive movie that I saw on the documentary Curse Films 2. We'll get into that. But let's just dive right in. We'll start with the Dollar Tree ones. And we start with kind of a unique one. It says Mean Girls Meet the Purge. Assassination Nation. Say that 3 times fast. But looks interesting. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the, why am I forgetting that? Is it peppermint bubblegum or something? It has that girl in it. Good cast on Netflix. Comment down below. Why do I blank on movies that I'm talking about? Anyway, it kind of has that vibe. And of course, red is my favorite color. So hopefully some good action. We'll see about that. This was released in 2018. Huh. So, looks like an interesting watch. Then this one is an upgrade for me. This one was not a Dollar Tree pickup. I think this was part of the deal. He sold me with the VHS. But this is an upgrade for me. And, oh, that's what it was. He found this at Dollar Tree thinking if he was upgrading, he didn't check. You always check your movie list to make sure you're upgrading or that you don't have it. But anyway, he got it at Dollar Tree, and this was his copy. Antitrust, I do have this on VHS, so this is an upgrade for me. Ryan Phillippe, Rachel Lee Cook. So this was what, 2000, I was thinking late 90s, but 2000. So that is cool to have upgraded. This is not an upgrade per se, but well, let's just show you. Remote, Josh got on Blu-ray, super jealous about that. Eventually, I do want to get this on Blu-ray, but not right now. So this is the VHS release of Remote. And you say, how can that be an upgrade if you have it on VHS? Well, I'm going to keep both, and there's a reason for that. Mine is a recorded VHS. For those not familiar, we should all be familiar with this, but maybe I have some younger viewers. But back in the day, Remote would come on, was it TNT or Nickelodeon? Maybe one of those two. So they would hit you with endless commercials and tell you, like, if a movie was coming, let's say it's 2 p.m. during the day, they're going to say remote comes on tonight at 8 p.m. or whatever. Those were pretty cool back in the day. Remember the commercials with the chimps? I think that was TNT. Those were some good commercials. Anyway, so we popped in our VHS and recorded the whole movie. So that's nostalgia because we watched Remote over and over and over and over and over again. And since it was recorded on a live TV broadcast, it has all those goodness commercials, like the great commercials back in the day. So, two reasons really to save it, but I did want a real release, if I can say, of Remote, which we do have. This case has seen better days, but it adds character, as they say. Eventually, I will get the Blu-ray, but I probably will keep both VHS copies as well for different reasons. Then we move on to a sequel that scared me. I had nightmares for years. I want to say I watched this sequel before I watched the original. Again, with the remote, we had cable when we were, if you're unfamiliar, a pastorium is where, like if you're pastoring a church, you and your family stay. It's close to the church. It's kind of part of the church property, so you don't pay rent or you don't buy a house, since we moved a lot as children. But this pastorium had cable, and this was when we got into WCW, all the good TV shows back in the day, Gummy Bears, Gargoyles, the Nickelodeon shows, Guts, all that, and all the movies, all that was for 4 years when we were there. But somehow this was on too, and we would stay up, kind of late, 10, 11 on a week, like a Friday night, Saturday. Where was I going? Tales from the Crypt. That there was an episode that scared me to death, where the guy's nose and stuff was gone, where she was like in a courtroom or something. So I had to stay up later and watch like Disney Channel or something to calm me down. But anyway, that was a tangent. The Dentist 2 was on, I don't think it was on TNT, it might have been. It was on some channel, and we sat there and watched it. And I think it's in the sequel where this lady's sitting by the pool, and he kind of lifts up the hat, all her teeth are gone, and that is the scariest thing, because I had braces for 5 years, 4 to 6 years. It was kind of a blur during that period, because I was very self-conscious about braces. I would rather have a gap in my teeth than to wear braces. And then when I was on insurance, so I couldn't get Invisalign, which are the invisible braces. And the rubber bands would pop off and like give you whiplash or pop you right here to where you had like blisters inside your mouth. Anyway, so this scared me to death. Nobody really likes dentists, do they? Or going to the dentist. So maybe that's it. Then we have the first dentist. And this is signed by the man himself, Corbin Burnson. Now, I do have Psych Season 1 signed by Corbin Burnson, but I had this signed specifically for Josh. Where was that? Was that, I want to say that was a fanboy. Go back to my series, Celebs I've Met. It's probably part 7 or 8, maybe 9. But I want to say it was a fanboy. I could be wrong. Because that was the same one where I met Lou Diamond Phillips and Judith Hogg. I want to say it was a fanboy. I could be wrong. We've gone to so many, but I want to say it was a fanboy. Anyway, so he sold me this because he got the cool Walmart set, I believe, of the Dance 1 too. So he sold me the VHS, and I wanted another Corbin Burnson autograph. Why not? That's so cool. And then we mentioned this, like I said in the Goodwill video. They had this there, but it was scratched, so I ended up passing on it. But it was so interesting that I looked it up on eBay, and it was maybe $1 or $2 more than the price at Goodwill, so I ended up snagging it. That is Airline, the complete Season 1. So this is all about kind of the ins and outs of airline, checking baggage, going through security, how the airline deals with that, canceled flights, the list goes on and on. Everyday, kind of the everyday ins and outs of an airline, and those kind of shows are really, really fascinating for me, and it's put out by A&E, so it should be a good series. 2004. So looks really well done. Comment down below, was there a second season? I would guess no, but there might have been a second season. Maybe they just never released it. I didn't see any when I looked it up. And then this one is probably the most interesting thing I've seen in a very long time. I had no idea this existed. I was watching Cursed 2, which is the second season of Cursed Films 2, which is the second season. Really enjoyed the first season, kind of diving into movies we think are cursed, that have like a bad production, stuff goes wrong. The cast from the film die in mysterious circumstances. Season 1 is really strong. Season 2, not as strong, because there was a couple where, like, I knew the film, but I didn't really want to know the kind of backstories of those films. But the very first one they did was Wizard of Oz. And that was a troubled production, to say the least, with is it Bud Ebsen? He was originally cast as Tin Man, but they used real metal flakes in the silver paint, and he would breathe that in, the particles, the metal particles, and that eventually uh, developed into pneumonia and breathing issues and like heart issues, like major health issues. So he was hospitalized, I think, for months, and that continued to affect him throughout his career after that point. And then the lady who plays the Wicked Witch, she got third and fourth degree burns from that flame, the Gulf in flames. It was a trap door. She had to say her lines, go and perfectly line up with the trap door, hold the broom up as the smoke goes around her body, and then perfectly time it. They set off the fire before she was dropped onto the padding below. So she got, I think, second or third degree burns on her hands and on her face. But the green paint they used had not metal particles like the Tin Man, but they had something that would react to, it was flammable basically. So they had to scrub the paint off while scrubbing over her second or third degree burns, which was a nightmare, she said. Anyway, I'm going on rambling. Go watch Cursed Films too, even though the latter episodes aren't as strong as season 1. But in that, there was a rumor that the little people that played the Munchkins and the Wizard of Oz, Judy Garland, did this rumor where they all stayed at this hotel, which is true. Most of them stayed in a certain hotel in Hollywood, but the rumor was that they all drank, partied, and had wild things go on, which was not true at all. But somehow they turned that urban legend into a movie. This is Chevy Chase and Carrie Fisher in a Warner Brothers movie, Under the Rainbow. This is craziness. So, with that rumor, this story follows all the little people from the Wizard of Oz in the hotel, and they kind of make that urban legend a reality in this movie. It never happened, but this kind of gave credence or gave kind of support to Judy Garland, like it really did happen, but it never did. But it's fascinating, the stuff, the backstory of a film. Like I like those kind of films where they kind of highlight the behind the scenes of what's going on during a famous film, even though this is not factual at all. But they used 150 little people to portray the Munchkins from the Wizard of Oz. Just craziness. And to get Chevy Chase, this might have been kind of before his breakout roles. 1981, that was kind of maybe before his peak. But this was right before Carrie Fisher broke out. So it's odd to have two major stars, maybe not back then, but to see them in a film that, let's just say, is covered in controversy, because the movie is based on a story that Judy Garland told about these little people that probably didn't get a lot of work after because of this rumor, so they lost kind of their livelihood. Then Judy Garland, they gave her pills during the filming of Wizard of Oz. This is all in the documentary, so go watch it. But she became addicted to that, and that led eventually to her death. I don't think did she overdose? I don't remember. But anyway, sad stuff. Really is, but such a weird, unique movie. I just had to get it. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, really. So I'm gonna check that out and see what it's all about. Even though it's not a real, those movies that say based on true events. It's not like that, but I want to see how crazy it is, you know. But I hope you enjoyed that pickups video. Uh, More movies coming out every Tuesday, Thursday. Like, subscribe, share with a movie lover. What is your kind of interesting movie that you've seen this week? Comment down below. Did I say share with a movie lover? Share again. Until next time, stay under the rainbow and keep collecting.